Hello, in this part of the tutorial I will show you how to do lighting in the rooms and also use various tools such as fog areas. I have added a few objects on the outside since the last tutorial. So, in a Suma editor we can see that the lighting isn't good at all. There are point lights clipping through walls. The outside area doesn't look that nice, and objects do not have shadows. In order to fix this, we'll first use some fog areas to set up the ambient light in each room. Remember, snap separation is always useful. Let's add the fog area here and tinker a bit with its settings. Brightness 0.2. Mark it as underwater and show and at 25. No. 15. And let's lower it for a bit. Let's duplicate some point lights so that they do not clip through the walls anymore. And of course, let's place a box light. We'll use the same color. And brightness 0.05 this time. If we go and reload, it should look better. And it does look somewhat better. Let's add a bit of highlight to the corals. And we can slightly change the light. Even though technically it should not make sense for them to be lit like this. There's a chance it might look better on the outside area looks relatively decent now. Okay, now for the hard part, the inside areas. First, we will want to get rid of these point lights. Now let us add box lights to the map. The rooms. As always. Now let's add the spotlights for the lamps. And this will be a bit more complex. First we need to create a spotlight. And then we have a lot of options in the light menu. Brightness should be 1. Okay. You can set the color, the brightness, usually 1 is enough. You want that to cast shadows, and the radius, we will set this to 10 or 15. Better yet. Near clip plane is where the light begins to be rendered. FOV changes the field of view. The lights spread. You can see that there are shadows now. Now we want some reflections on this. We're going to select the gobo, go into lights. Let's assume this one's okay. We want to set this to diffuse specular to specular. Specular, right. You can set the brightness higher, and near creep plane should be also higher, also bigger, in order to make the reflection be and have. And then you will notice that you can see the reflection on the ground. Let us copy this for the other lamp. Let's see how this looks in game. Try to think out the values a bit more and see if we can get something better. And also you can see that this lamp is very bright, so it would probably need a point light around it. Let's see if it looks better now. And the point light should be larger and have bigger fall off. We might need to add more lights that for say walls, and we need to slightly move this box light. Yes, this is good enough, and we also need to place a fog area for the room. It will be much less obvious than and at 40, 50, 0.2 brightness, and so you will tell me if this is an improvement. I think it is. It's 55 better, maybe? Yeah. Now to add point lights to the various things in here. Like these things, they are shiny but they do not give any light yet, so we should add point lights to them. Usually you can get away with brighter lights here. And if you don't want those reflections to be as strong, remember you can always do this. And I think it might be recommended in this case. Now let's add a small light for the green things over there. Once again, you don't want it to be clipping through things it shouldn't be, because you do not have an option for them to cast shadows. I think these have specific reflection files, reflection gobos, so it might go with that. Okay, we need some wall lights for there. We'll just leave this closed for the moment, and we'll get into more spotlights soon. Radius 15. We absolutely need this to cast shadows. Let's temporarily set its brightness to 10 so that we can see what we are doing. And we could modify its aspect a bit, but in order to avoid more clipping, we should use more walls on the exterior. That they will not be visible, but something needs to block the wall. We can also use planes, but it will be easier to set with. I mean, if you want this to be seen from outside, you'd probably have to do your own ocean bottom meshes and objects in order to make it look good. Let's rotate this slightly like this and elongate it a bit. Okay, and shadow blur. Need a more shadow blur. Okay. And if we already have a spotlight here, we can get away with a simple point light for the monitor. You want one with no specular because those reflections are going to look ugly. And slight bluish light would suffice brightness. Now we can go for one. It is already somewhat bright here. And let's see how it looks now. Okay, it looks better. This area needs more lighting at the moment. And let's see if we can set up these gobos. No, or at least for this one. Okay, let's see how it looks in game now. Yeah, it's decent enough. And we need to add some more details there. Then we'll go on to billboards and particle systems, which will also improve this area a lot. Now let's look for a lamp. So let's try this. Effect. We don't want those special effects, they are too bright. Let's make this area orange, just for variety's sake. The lamp color will be set to orange and we'll be making it brighter. And we'll need a big point light. Make it orange. Okay. And a spotlight, which might have pixelated shadows because of its radius. 10 would be. So fast shadows. Let's make it orange. That point light is a bit too obvious there. It's light. Hey. So this is the lighting part of the tutorial. Doesn't look nice enough yet. Now let's move on to the particle system, no, to the billboards. Billboards are 2D sprites or textures. They are usually used for lights, like light cones. Let's scale it up a little. 5 should be enough. You do not want it to be very bright, so 0.1 should suffice. Connect it to the point light, and there you have it. 0.05 in this case. Let's see if it's too bright. It's a bit too bright. And 0.2. Yeah, it's noticeable, yet not. 0.03 would be better. Yes. Let's move it around a bit. Now let's do a similar one for the... You can connect it to a point light and it will simply take out on its characteristics. We will want this to be brighter while we edit it in the editor, and we need to set it to an axis to be able to rotate it. Should be good for this, and we want another one, another bigger one, like 8, and connect it to this spotlight. And also we will want to be able to not see it if we're very close, but it should fade in. Yeah, it should disappear when. Yeah, you can make it fade like that. So these are billboards. Now let's add some particle system for the lights and various other things. I'm gonna go for smoke, fog, ambient light, hard. Move it down. Connect it to a point light. Brightness 0.05 should be enough, or 0.03. We could make another one here and connect it to this point light and make it brighter. Okay, let's see how it looks. Looks better now. I'm still considering lowering the box lights brightness a bit. 0.05, yeah. And let's add more particle systems to the lights, because you can never have enough of them. Make them orange. You can go with a higher brightness for these ones, like 4, and you can downscale them a bit. You actually downscale the particles and not the You can choose not to connect them, but it usually helps if you do. And we need to add some underwater particles. Let's start with some bubbles. Let's add some bubbles coming out of the corals. And another useful particle system would be water dust. Let's see how it looks in game now. Shouldn't look too bright. Okay. I could technically also showcase the light mask and what it does. I'm gonna create a light mask here. And let's say I want to have a point light here, because for some reason I'm gonna use point lights and not other things, and go with the orange light from before. We do not want this, so in order to get to this, to fix this, we need to connect this light to a light mask, and it will only be rendered within the light mask. This fixes each issue, such as this. There'll be anything else. So yeah, this is a nice little effect if you care for it. You can add the dust light small, tiny, near the wow clusters. Then make it very bright. 100. This is gonna make these areas a bit prettier. So there you have it. This was lighting. Next we're going to do sounds and soundscape areas, and after that some interactivity and gameplay.